Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
Hello, Billy Ho here, coming at you with the picks and preview show, course preview for the Memorial Tournament 2023. Welcome to Billy Ho Sports. I got my new t-shirt on. Keep on grinding. That's what we do every week here. So we're heading to Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio for Jack's tournament. He bought, years ago, he bought this property and built this golf course and established this golf tournament as his own little mini baby cousin to Augusta, his favorite place where he's won, obviously all the Masters, big money on the line as well as big tournament players. So we got a full field event. Well, not a full field. It's a 120 person invitational, just like the Charles Schwab, by the way. I wanted to make that clear. So another 120 player field. And we're going to dive into the Muirfield Village Golf Course to see what Jack's got in store for us this year and see what kind of players we need to target to get us those other players. I'll list off the top five studs that we're probably all looking at immediately this week that you could probably mix and match and then maybe even take your stands down elsewhere. So, anyway, we're going to jump into that right now. So please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Smash on that like, notification bells, all that good stuff. Leave some comments. Give me some ideas on somebody out of the top five of the Schefflers and the Roms and the Xanders. Maybe somebody down a little tier lower who you're liking this week in the comments. That'd be great. So let's get us. And before we get into Muirfield Village, I do have the article published. It's not, I haven't granted any access to it yet. Probably will do that when I post the video, but it's just a work in progress. Like I said, I do this every week just to kind of help myself. And if anybody would like to read it, I always put the link down in there. They could take a look at what I got going on. So we're going to get into. I just wanted to pop up a couple quick highlights from last year when my man Billy Ho took it home last year before he decided to I'll get into Billy Ho a little bit later anyway, but here's some highlights for, we got some Denny Love and some Aaron Wise played well here last year, so maybe he's somebody we might look at, and then of course Billy getting it done. But now getting into Muirfield Village, we probably are really familiar with the course because the tournament's quite a few years deep now, but it is a par 72, 7,533 yards. It's made up of undulating bent grass fairways, so it's kind of hilly, just like Augusta's baby cousin. The greens are smaller than Augusta's. They're 5,000 square feet, but they are pure bent grass. They're fast and firm, just like Augusta. For most of us out there, we know Jack Nicklaus bought the property. He did a fantastic job incorporating this creek that runs throughout the course that you're seeing. The back nine is very Augusta-like, beginning with the difficult par 4 10th. And then things flip around a little bit as number 11 is the scoreable par 5 that crosses the creek. And then you go to the par 3 12th, which is similar to the picture that I right behind me, Golden Bell, is, but it plays a little longer. I think it plays like 180, 185. So I don't know if that's more difficult, but it still has that same sideways kidney shaped green. And then the next few holes after that, you have a chance to make a couple of birdies. 14 is kind of a layup off the tee as the creek runs just 277 yards away. But it's still, you lay up and you still got a short wedge in. 15 is an easy par 5 to take advantage of. So as long as you don't like completely lose the ball drive left too bad, there is a creek running across there, and it runs across the green. It is in play for players that hit a less than good tee shot, because if you go for that green and you're short at all, you might end up in the drink. So anyway, the course itself is designed to demand a complete tee to green game. That's the way Jack likes it. It's a combination of distance and accuracy off the tee. What I like is needed the distance for attacking those easy par fives, and the position accuracy on these difficult par fours. There are 7 par fours on this golf course from 450 to 500 yards. So if you look at this strokes gained to distribution list here, real quick, you can see 150 to 200. So you're going to be hitting a lot of pitching wedge, 8 and 9 irons for most players. Players with the better green and regulation percentage will do well here because of the being the 5,000 square foot greens are smaller. Knowing these greens, course history is always important. The ability to scramble and get up and down to make pars, avoid double bogeys are the keys to winning. So obviously, with Memorial being a designated event, there's big money and big time players. We have the usual suspects up top, and I'm going to run down a quick top 5 for you. Obviously, I'm going to start it with Scotty Scheffler. The man shows up every week. He didn't play Memorial last year, and I'm wondering if maybe it was just he needed a week off and things just bounced the wrong way because he played Charles Schwab, and being Texas guy, he felt obligated instead of skipping Schwab and going Memorial. He played Schwab and skipped Memorial last year. But the 8 rounds previous to that in 2020 and 2021 lead the field in that span from tee to green with 2.2 strokes gained. So that's course history. I mean, he seems like a course fit everywhere, doesn't he? But anyway, here's a little stat for you. He finished last fall at the CJ Cup, T45, right? Okay. Other than that, the entire 2023 season through the fall and this year, T11 is the worst finishing position he's had the whole year. And he's had a couple of T11s. Most of them have been top 10s, and you obviously know the wins, players, and waste management. So the guy just shows up every week. This week he looks like he's probably going to teeter in the top 10 range again at Schwab. I don't see him running these guys down. I think he struggles a little bit with the putter, and he dropped down to -4, and I don't think he's going to get there. Of course, then you have John Rahm, who should be a back-to-back champion, and he had a top 10 last year. He had to withdraw with the COVID thing, or he would have won it for a second year in a row. And to round out the top 5, you have Patrick Cantlay, who got the gifted win of the year Rahm WD'd. So that gives Cantlay 2 wins. Morikawa won that work day, and he's played pretty well here too. And Xander's this just screams of a Xander tournament to win. He doesn't seem like he could win majors. Obviously, he's a PGA championship kind of guy. He's probably a Masters kind of guy, and he's probably a U.S. Open kind of guy. And maybe in California this year, he'll prove us all wrong. But this just seems like one of them prestigious type events that he would win, like a Players or this event. So anyway, enough about those guys. We know they're all good. So I'm going to try to find a few. I don't know if you want to call them low key or not, because some of them aren't low key. Be honest with you. Sahith Theegala. I think I'm finally ready to pull the trigger on my man Sahith. He is getting her done. I don't know if this Holy Grail is going to show you very much. This was fantasy data, and I know Theegala is always way up here in birdie or better. He probably won't show up because I don't know if I got my settings quite right. I screwed things up with that, so my apologies. Anyway, Sahith Theegala can score. He finished top 5 here last year, 9th at the Masters. DK scoring is good. He has had struggled the last couple of tournaments with his driver, but he's usually fine in that category. He still made the cut, actually, even though he lost strokes with the driver. So he's usually priced too high for me, so I don't play him. But this time around, I think I'm going to hope he's priced higher than normal. So maybe we get a discount on ownership. Then the next guy up, a guy like Adam Scott could compete this week. The way he's striking it and his ability to gain putting, now he's a much better DraftKings play. He can gain 5 strokes putting now, so that's always a good thing. Another guy who seems to be playing really, really well is Corey Connors, and you'll hear his name a lot. He will not go overlooked this week. He is in a groove right now. He has good results here. He's gained over 4 putting at the PGA Championship on similar bent grass, and has positive putting here at Muirfield Village for the most part. I think he lost about 0.97 last year, but he's been positive in the other ones. If he's near a zero even putter with his ball striking, he's always competitive. So I feel pretty good about him. And those are names you know. And obviously, I think I need to mention. I don't know what's going to happen today, but Adam Schenk uh, is putting himself into position to win another golf tournament. He didn't get there a while back in Florida, where he finished second. I think he did lost. He might have lost in a playoff. He hit like one bad drive and he screwed himself. But then he had the baby and he kind of went through a few missed cuts. But he's kind of on the back on the upswing again, and he's in contention this week. And I don't. Hopefully he'll be a cheap play. Solid T26 last year at Memorial, but he gained over 9 strokes ball striking. He just lost like between 3 and 4 strokes on the green, and he's actually a very good bent putter. That's his most positive. He's like 0.33 in the positive of bent putting, so solid there. My man Siwoo Kim, he is just so volatile, but he's playing well and good and has good history here. He's had good history at the Masters. This is kind of a beat. It's not a Pete Dye design; it's a Nicklaus design, obviously, but it has some Pete Dye esque things to it with the undulating, uneven fairways and angles and strategy, technical stuff, and which is Siwoo Kim, his wheelhouse, and his ability to get red hot with the irons. I think will be a big deal this week. And check this out: he's top 10 in both the important buckets this week. 150 to 175, 175 to 200. That whole range that I just showed you a little while ago. That's a bigger. Let's see. I got key stats right here. I should have been showing you this a long time ago. But approaches from 150 to 175 ranks 11th, and then I thought there would be 175 to 200 on here, but that just goes hand in hand with those buckets. But he's top 10. He's like 6th and 7th in both of those categories, which is great. And this might be a course fit thing. You can see all the usual names. I didn't mention Max Homa either. Max Homa seems to be a guy that's learning this course, kind of like he's learning Augusta. He's making progress in both. So anyway, good week in Texas for Siwoo. Another guy I don't know if you can trust, Kevin Streelman. But I thought he's been really, really bad. And normally he's a great iron player, and he's really been bad with the irons this year. But he's actually made 6 of his last 7 cuts recently. And he's in contention at Charles Schwab for the first time in a long time. And I think he should be plenty cheap this week. And maybe he'll go overlooked if he doesn't end up on page 1 of the leaderboard on Sunday, and seeing him making some kind of great rally, he may go overlooked. So keep an eye on Streelman. Getting down to the end here, my man Billy Ho has been nothing short of absolute ass crack this season. I hate to say it, but I can't understand it. I can't understand the man, why anybody who's one of the better drivers of the golf ball on tour goes to try a swing change in the off season, and he has not figured that out. I mean, how's that working for you, Billy? I mean, let's see what the golfer profile looks like. And it basically looks like somebody stepped on a piece of glass and walked all over my screen with all this red and pink nonsense. Somebody stepped on a broken bottle at the pool this weekend, celebrate Memorial Day, and stepped on my screen, because he has got negative numbers on approach, off the tee. I mean, losing 6 off the tee at Century, 4 off the tee at Players, 3.5 at Waste Management. I mean, Heritage, Masters. He made the cut at Masters. I don't know how he pulled that off. I mean, he barely gained any putting. I guess it's just because the fields. I mean, you lose that much tee to green and only gain a couple of strokes putting and you make the cut. I mean, come on. He must have really had a disaster over the weekend. Maybe he had a good first couple of rounds. But anyway, PGA Championship, he missed the cut, but at least he was positive off the tee. So he's got that going for him. And he's been about even off the tee this week at Texas. He made the cut. People were like, "Oh, Billy Ho's back." Not really. He's going to finish middling pack somewhere, like T27 or something. But he's not going to be owned. Nobody's going to play him next week. He's been too awful. So you should see maybe the defending champ price bump. And then his monster ego should have him ready not to embarrass himself at Jack's place. So that's about all for that. One more guy I will talk about before we get out of here, Ricky Fowler. I used to be hashtag never Ricky. He's kind of making me more of a believer in him this year for obvious reasons. He's just been finally consistent, and he's a consistent top 20 finisher. I think he's probably going to get another top 20 here at Charles Schwab. I haven't seen his progress as of yet, but they're just now teeing off with the later groups in the day anyway. So Ricky Fowler's had some good success here, some near misses, and this would be a really, really great tournament for him to win after, like, I guess about 5 years. I want to say that Waste Management, he won, like it was 2018 or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a long time for Ricky. So hopefully he'll get her done. And anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you subscribe, share around, share like. Don't forget the contest. It'll be out Monday when the pricing comes out. Until the next video, we will see you soon. Thanks again.